Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Asma Malik. I'm the Director of Admissions for the Metro New York office in Manhattan. We apologize that you weren't able to hear the background music, some technical difficulties there, but we really hope that you enjoyed some of the images from campus. I just wanted to say a few words before turning it over to my colleagues. Warmest congratulations once again. The admissions process was very selective this year. We had one of the largest application pool in the history of Syracuse University. So students and parents, you should be very proud of this achievement. Our hope for today is that you'll be able to picture yourself having the SU experience. The presentation will cover the onboarding process, which will start on May 1st, and it'll go all the way through to move-in. Feel free to ask any questions you may have in the Q&A section. We'll try to save some time at the end to address questions verbally, but if we do not get back to you during the presentation, we will reach out to you later on. We will also be discussing orientation and the overview of first semester. So without further ado, I will turn it over to my colleagues in the Office of First Year and Transfer Programs. Take it away.
Hi, everybody. Can you all hear me okay? You can hear me, good. So we're part of the Office of First Year and Transfer Programs. My name is Butch Hallmark. I'm the Assistant Director of the office. And I'll let my two other colleagues introduce themselves real quick.
Hi, good evening. My name is Carrie Abbott. I'm the Director of the Office of First Year and Transfer Programs.
Hi, everybody. Morgan Eaton. I'm a junior here at Syracuse University, he, him pronouns. I'm a head orientation leader, and I'm very excited to be here. Thank you.
Great. So we are going to cover a lot of stuff tonight. You're probably going to have a lot of questions. We're probably going to end this session with you having more questions than you came here with, because a lot of the stuff that we're going to be talking about is going to spark a lot of questions, and you're probably really excited to get started with all of your stuff. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. We'll kind of tell you who we are, and we'll go from there. So like I said, we're the Office of First Year and Transfer Programs. We are devoted to helping all of our students in their first year at Syracuse, both as a first year student and as a transfer student, achieve a successful and fulfilling transition to college. So part of that transition is, after you get admitted and you confirm that you're coming here, then we start that onboarding process and getting you ready for your first semester and getting you ready to move in on campus. Part of our mission is to provide a sense of belonging for every single first year and transfer student that attends Syracuse University. So whether that's our communication that we do over the summer, and I'm sure we'll probably be doing some Facebook Lives and maybe some webinars over the summer as well. And then the orientation process, what we call Syracuse Welcome. Throughout your first year, we do create intentional programming that connects you with each other, connects students with each other, and also to faculty and staff and other resources on campus. And also for all of our family members that are viewing us tonight, we also view you as partners. We partner really well with Parent and Family Services. And we talk to parents almost on a daily basis as well throughout the school year. So we're also here for you. While we are here to serve your students, we can be a resource to you as well. All right, so I'm sure you're all anxious to get started. So the first thing that you should be doing is setting up and checking your email. That is like the first required task that you should be completing once you're admitted to the university. Our office for all admitted students, as of I believe the end of March, we sent communication to all students' personal emails and their Syracuse emails, kind of giving you that, like, hey, you're here now. Let's go ahead and get you started with some things. And that email was the first thing to get you started with. So if you're curious about how to do that, if you haven't done that yet, you can go to our website at firstyear.syr.edu. You'll hear us talk about that a few times in the presentation tonight. And you'll click on accepted at the top and then getting started, or maybe a Syracuse Welcome getting started. I'm not 100%. We just changed our layout of our website this week. But you'll see getting started in required tasks. Start on that required task list. The first thing is setting up and checking your email. After you get your email set up, starting in May, we're going to be sending out weekly emails to all first year and transfer students called Becoming Orange. This is the first step in that transition process. So in order for you to be orange, we're going to help you become orange. In these newsletters, we're going to share important deadlines, deadlines about when you need to opt in or opt out of the student health insurance plan that the university offers, deadlines for the community wellness requirements. The community wellness requirements that are required for all first year and transfer students to complete. They cover things like alcohol, EDU, sexual and interpersonal violence, and diversity, equity, inclusion. Did I miss anything else, Carrie?
You got it.
Got it. So those will be coming out. We'll be giving you that as soon as those are available. We'll be sharing that information and how to access those modules this summer. Also, we'll be sharing important information about your health history forms that are due, your immunization records. We're going to talk about vaccine stuff in a little bit. Can we go back one slide? Yeah. So we'll be sharing that information as well. So those things are very important. If you don't get that stuff in by the deadline, you're going to miss out on a lot of important stuff that you're already waiting on, your class schedule, your housing assignment, things like that. So make sure to stay on top of those important deadlines that we share. Those Becoming Orange newsletters will also cover different other tasks to complete. So whether it's registering for orientation, Syracuse Welcome, some other different programs we might have going on this summer and before Welcome starts. So your student will have a lot of stuff to complete over the summer, but we kind of spread it out over the summer so you're not bogged down with a lot of stuff at the very beginning or at the very end. Also, we share a lot of information about resources and how to access different offices on campus, how to get involved. We expose students to a few student organizations through these Becoming Orange newsletters. So it's a lot of information. We want to make sure that you're prepared as prepared as possible before you set foot on campus. Carrie, do you want to talk about first term enrollment selection?
You know what, Butch? Yeah, I do. And I was just seeing, we have lots of questions already, and we're so excited. We will go through some of these and then maybe answer some at the end. But I do have a student who's mentioned that they set up their email, but haven't received a Becoming Orange newsletter yet. So I'll let Butch talk a bit more about the schedule, but I can tell you that students should check, if you feel like you haven't heard from us, first place, check your junk mail to make sure that it hasn't accidentally gone there, because that does happen sometimes. But for our students who've matriculated, right, you've filled out your admissions acceptance form, we do send an email typically to your personal address and your Syracuse address, but then we're only going to communicate through Syracuse address. Butch, do you have anything additional you want to add to that?
Sure. We've only sent one Becoming Orange so far. And all students and family members, I do want to give this plug. You can access all of these newsletters throughout the summer as they're being sent on our website at a newsletter archive. But we've only sent one, and you can go access that newsletter on that archive if you didn't receive it. However, we will start sending them weekly starting on May 19th, which is a Wednesday. It'll come out every Wednesday. It'll come out at some point that day. I can't guarantee that it'll come out at a specific time. We also have to send it to thousands of students. So it does take a while once we hit send for it to actually go. So you can start checking your email weekly on Wednesdays starting on May 19th.
So the other question we got kind of about this section, Butch, was about the health history and immunization records, and if that space is available for students as they do their admissions acceptance form. The answer to that question, I'm pretty sure is yes. And so you can go ahead and access our patient portal, log in, see if you can get in there. We would love you to upload your immunization information as soon as possible. If you have a COVID vaccine, we'll take that information. So we appreciate you kind of getting a jump start on that. And so, but you did want me to talk a bit about a first term enrollment selection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, somebody did ask too about working with their advisors in that process. So I'll go ahead and answer both of those. So first term enrollment selection is an opportunity for you to start to build your course schedule. So you will receive detailed instructions from each of your individual schools and colleges with instructions. Some of your majors, really your courses for first semester are kind of selected for you. And then some of you have the opportunity to select elective type courses. So your instructions from each of your schools and colleges will let you know how that's going to work. You'll log into this system. It's through MySlice that we call first term enrollment, and you'll put in requests for classes that you'd like to take. And then the advisors take that, review it, knowing your requirements, and they build your schedule. And that will be available for you, I believe, August 2nd this year. So you'll log into MySlice and you'll be able to see your schedule. And then if you have questions, concerns, need tweaks, you will go ahead and take care of that during Syracuse Welcome. We have space in the calendar during Syracuse Welcome for schedule adjustment. Working with your advisors, the advising team that help you build your schedule are the advising teams within each school and college. And a lot of you will also have a faculty advisor. Morgan's smiling. I think his work in Maxwell, he probably has one. That usually comes after the schedule building as a first semester student. Morgan, do you want to jump in there just because you're so involved in your school? I thought maybe you might want to make a quick comment on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's all very true. You'll be reached out to by your academic advisor as well as your specific advisors within your schools and colleges. Again, just kind of harkening back to something Butch said, is when you get your email set up, your SYR email, that's where your advisors will be able to best communicate with you, is if you have your email set up. So again, just highly recommend setting up your email because a lot of the communication that you'll need in the first couple weeks of school and throughout the summer are going to start right through your SYR email. So if you stay up to date with that, you'll be all set when it comes to talking to your advisors.
Great. And then just kind of on the same slide, we did have a question, I think, about like when our specific required task dates are going to be live, the deadlines, and we are working on that now. So we will, as soon as we have them, we'll get them posted into that space. And then also a question, I had mentioned the COVID vaccine. We're going to know more information about that as we progress in the summer. It has been announced that students are required to have a COVID vaccine to come to campus. A student did ask if that vaccine is going to be available perhaps when they arrive on campus, and we'll know more soon about that. So don't worry, we'll keep answering questions too if you want to move on to the next slide, Butch.
I will say that even though the deadlines and stuff for when required tasks are due is not finalized yet, our required task list does tell you how to go ahead and start that process.
Yeah.
So and as soon as we get an update on that, that's what we're going to be updating. So again, if you go to our website, you click on it's firstyear.syr.edu, you'll see Syracuse Welcome at the top. You click on Getting Started, and then you'll find the required tasks link.
Thanks, Butch.
Thanks. And we can go to the next slide. Also, just as a side note, starting in May as a student, it's a good rule of thumb, a good practice to go ahead and be checking your email in the beginning, probably at least once a week. But as we get closer to August, I would check it at least once a day. Because you're going to start getting emails from our office, from Office of Student Living, from Housing, Meal Plan, ID Card Services, from your advisors. So students definitely need to start checking your email, get in the habit of checking your email at least weekly in the beginning, up to a day, once a day, toward the end of the summer. So immunizations. Obviously, we all know that COVID has impacted everything and everyone somehow. So you knew this was coming. So proof of COVID-19 vaccination and all the other vaccinations in your health history form or your proof of exemption is required to receive your housing assignment, your course schedule for the fall. And Carrie, I don't know if there's anything else we need to elaborate on this based on what we know now.
Yeah, that's a great question, Butch. I mean, what we know is the university does require proof of your traditional immunizations, measles, mumps, rubella being the most common. So a lot of you probably have that already with your doctor's office and can provide that information. I think the piece that we're still tracking is the COVID vaccine, knowing it's, only available, some of them to folks who are 18 and over, some is for 16, um, availability in community and what that's going to look like on campus. So I'd ask you to stay tuned with us over the summer. We will be communicating that for sure, what that process is going to look like. But in the meantime, if you have your other vaccine info, just go ahead and upload it as soon as you have it. We would love to see that, because we don't want to prevent you from seeing your housing assignment and getting your course schedule. We know those are important to students.
Yeah. And also this summer, like I mentioned before, Syracuse Welcome, which is our new student orientation program, there will be a registration for that. It'll begin sometime in May, probably mid to late May. And that's just to give us more information about you as a student. It'll help us kind of gauge like how many class shirts and how many different sizes we should be ordering, that kind of thing. So once you see that registration go live, go ahead and register for it. There is no cost associated with Syracuse Welcome. So all you have to do is just fill out a form for us, and that'll be it for that. Also, you should expect some mail from us kind of soon, maybe later this summer. You'll be getting some stuff in the mail that'll be really exciting. It'll kind of be that aha, I'm going to college moment for you. Anything else with Syracuse Welcome team before we dive into Syracuse Welcome?
I think that's good. Let's get into the details, Butch.
Okay. So some really exciting stuff that we're offering our students before Syracuse Welcome starts are our pre-welcome programs. So our office, along with a few other offices on campus, hosts different programs designed to allow some students to move in early and allow them to meet different other students, meet people in their residence hall, faculty and staff members before the full schedule starts, before everybody else moves in. So you kind of get acclimated to campus a little bit sooner when it's not so hectic and crazy. So some of these programs that we offer Q's First, which is run from out of our office. It's designed for first generation college students. So students who are the first in their family to attend and attend college. We offer Transfer Transitions, which is kind of the same thing, but it's designed specifically for our transfer students. So any transfer student that attended another university before coming to Syracuse is invited to that program. One of our really popular programs is called Loop. It's the Leadership Outdoor Orientation Program. And that is run out of Recreation with the Barnes Center at the Arch. I'm not entirely sure what the plan is for Loop this year in terms of if they're going to be going off campus or if they're going to be doing an experience on campus, but it is kind of like a leadership kind of retreat. You do some low ropes activities, some team bonding, team building, and some leadership activities to kind of get those skills sharpened before school starts. Then we have Access Q's, which is run out of our Center for Disability Resources. So for anybody who's anticipating wanting to access resources with the Center for Disability Resources, can take this opportunity to kind of get their meetings taken care of before school starts. You can still take care of those meetings once school starts, or have those conversations prior to your arrival. But this does give students a chance to kind of dive into that office and their resources. Fresh Fest is run out of our Syracuse Hillel. It's for Jewish identifying students to come back early to. It's probably our biggest program that we have, pre-welcome program. I believe they've already started taking registrations, so you can go register for that if you're interested in that. But you come back a day or two before everybody else moves in. You do a lot of leadership activities, a lot of social activities. You explore campus and you explore Syracuse during that program. Then we have for our international students, we have our international student orientation. which is required for all international students. And you'll be receiving information from the Center for International Services regarding international student orientation. And then finally, if you are a veteran student, we have a program run out of the Office of Engagement Programs at Hendricks Chapel in partnership with OBMA it's the same kind of idea. We connect you as a veteran student, but also your family can get involved in that process as well and meet other people who are kind of going through that same experience. At Syracuse, we really value making sure that our veterans are taken care of, but also their transition is kind of seamless from their previous experience to college. So yeah, it's a lot of programming. We're also exploring some additional programs and some other options and stuff, but this is what we traditionally do. Carrie, am I missing anything here?
No, this is great. I could tell you a little update on Access Qs. I think we're looking at that schedule for fall, and we may end up doing something more the first week of classes as an opportunity to welcome all of our students back, maybe our rising sophomores who haven't had a chance to interact with the team in person. So I think that one, stay tuned on. We're trying to finalize what that looks like. There's a lot of things we're looking at. What did we do pre-COVID? What did we do during COVID? And then how do we want to do it next in a bit of a different world, we hope. So let's keep an eye on that one. But we do hope this is an experience that you will consider. Our pre-welcome programs are a really great opportunity just to connect with a small group of students, before you get to campus. One of my favorite stories is a personal story. My nephew actually went to SU. He's a senior this year, and he participated in Loop. And I caught up with him on the first day of classes, and we were walking down the Einhorn family walkway, and he was waving at people. Hey, how are you? And I said, Brian, how do you know all of these people? And he said, well, those are my Loop friends. And of course it warmed, this auntie's heart, but it was just really nice to see him feel so comfortable on the first day of classes, having had that experience.
And again, some of these programs do have costs associated with them. Mm-hmm. And some are free, some are free of charge. And all these schedules go into Syracuse Welcome. So it's a completely separate experience from the pre-welcome program and the Syracuse Welcome program. Did we lose the background or the presentation? Or is it just me?
It's me. I'm going to pull it up.
Oh, okay.
I guess what?
Awesome. We're back. We can go to the next slide. Okay, so pre-welcome has happened. For those of you that aren't participating in pre-welcome, we have new student move-in, which is probably the thing that everybody is the most nervous about, the most anxious about. But the good thing about this, about how we do move-in, is that we go to probably extreme measures to make sure that this is as stress-free as possible. So move-in is from August 24th through the 26th. Again, for those of you that attend pre-welcome programs, your move-in dates are earlier than that, but this is when everybody moves in, all the first year and transfer students move in. So it takes place over 3 days. The process for picking your day and your time and all that kind of stuff is going to be communicated later this summer. But you will have an opportunity to be able to choose one of your days, choose the move-in day, and choose the move-in time. And so if you're trying to make plans right now, try to get hotels and flights that offer some flexibility within this time frame. Or if you would like to just come for the entire 3 days and you just move in whenever you get the time, that's great too. Whatever works for you. So when you arrive to campus, you're going to be welcomed by orientation leaders like Morgan. You'll be welcomed by a lot of volunteers, staff members, faculty members, administration. They will all be outside waiting to welcome all of you to campus. And we also have the Goon Squad, which is one of our, if not the oldest student tradition or student group tradition on our campus. It's 77 years, I think, Carrie. 76.
77, Butch, since 1944.
77. 19, well, of course, 1944.
44, yeah.
Why wouldn't it be? So yeah, the Goon Squad is there to help you move your belongings in. So if you look at this picture at the top, you'll see one of our orientation leaders there on the left side trying to help cover some of the belongings with some plastic because it was raining that day. And in the middle, you'll see one of our Goon Squad members. So they'll take the bin and they will push the bin inside for you. We're hoping we've been given, as of today, we've been given the go ahead that this move-in process will be kind of what you're seeing here in terms of getting that physical assistance to help move in. So they're going to push your things inside the building while your student goes in and takes care of all the paperwork. They get their keys, they get their all their information about Residence Hall Association, all that kind of stuff. And the rules of being in the residence hall, and you have to sign your stuff. And then they'll help you get settled. They'll push your stuff to your room, help you unload it, and then they'll take the bin away.
Butch, we have a few questions kind of in this area. Is that okay?
Yeah, go.
Okay, so quickly, there's a couple just about the pre-welcome that I'll go through quick, if that's okay. So quick question about Loop. Who is eligible? Anyone who would like to go. There is a fee associated because there's some travel and those kinds of things associated. So feel free to take a look at that, but anybody can come. How much earlier do you come for a pre-welcome program? Those typically start on the Sunday before Syracuse Welcome, although the Fresh Fest program begins on Monday. And let's see, I think there was a Fresh Fest. The Loop registration, I think that usually will start in May, but we will let you know about that. And then I think there's some questions here just about the move-in process. Let me just tell you more about that. So as Butch explained, you're going to select your day and time. When you get your housing assignment, that'll be about mid-July. If you file your information by the deadline, and if you have your immunizations in, and then at that point, you're going to be able to select your move-in day and time. There's a portal where you'll go in and select it. Our move-in times are between 9 and 5, those 3 days, and you can select your desired date and time. Butch mentioned it's good to be a little flexible. Plans changed. There are, we really do our best to accommodate everybody, but there are a certain number of time slots for each residence hall for each day, and that helps us manage traffic and then safety for everybody. There is also a question here about family members helping you move in. For all of Syracuse Welcome, we're really trying to figure out the best way to have guests on our campus. Again, this is that kind of what is 21 in managing COVID look like. So our goal first is to focus on the safety of our students, and then come next is to figure out how we can have parents and support people participate. It is our plan that a family member or support person can help the student move into the residence halls, but we'll have specifics on that soon. We're still ironing out some details again with vaccines and everything. You know what, Morgan, I am wondering, just because you have been there to greet students now several times, could you tell everybody from the orientation leader perspective what that curbside welcome to Syracuse looks like?
Yeah, it's one of the best days, excuse me, it's one of the best days on campus that you're going to have. So exciting, so many emotions, so many feelings. But as Butch said, orientation leaders, Goon Squad, faculty, staff, volunteers, going to be there throughout every step of the process. Typically, again, as Carrie mentioned, we're still figuring out some of the details, but in years past, we have cars come right up to the loop in front of the residence hall where you'll be able to unload your vehicle. We have bins right there. You'll be greeted by an orientation leader. From there, we just pack your bin. We send you inside to go fill out some of that paperwork, get your key. It's really all about having kind of that personal interaction. So you'll be able to talk to us. We'll talk to you. We'd love to get to know more about you and your experience and where you're coming from and what you're excited for on campus. Really, our job throughout that entire day is to make sure that you have the best time possible, really enjoy kind of that first start into college. or wherever you're coming from. So really, you'll pull up to that loop. We'll help you get moved in. And then as Butch will touch on a little bit later, we have a whole bunch of awesome events throughout the week that you guys are going to get to participate in as part of Syracuse Welcome. So that's a little bit just about the move-in process.
Morgan, thank you so much for that. And we did have another question just about the international student move-in date. And we're still finalizing that, but it does go with the pre-welcome schedule. So it will be approximately 20, 21, 22. And so we're just finalizing that, and we will have that shortly. There is a question about the residence halls and can you pick them? So I think a few of these we'll come back to. And then the deadline for immunizations is on here. Butch, is that, what is that date? I feel like you'll know it better. Is it July 1? We'll check on that. You're planning on moving early for marching band. We're still finalizing on the details about the marching band move-in. And I think somebody else actually asked if you could do a pre-welcome program and the marching band. And I would say that marching band is almost its own pre-welcome program. So that is, so you can't do both, but I know that the welcome band, the marching band welcome is a truly extraordinary experience. Let's see. The parent programs, there's a couple questions about parent programs, and I don't want to go too off into the weeds because we're going to talk about Syracuse Welcome programming, but we have not determined what parent welcome sessions are going to look like this year. Again, not quite sure about guests and that kind of thing. So stay tuned on that, but we do hope that a parent or support person will at least come with you to help you set up your room. Although I would plan on not more than 2 guests. In the past, sometimes families, we're all really excited for our students to go to school. So sometimes, you know, a larger group will come welcome the student and get them settled in. And so for this year, I would definitely plan on that being 1 to 2 individuals. And then a maximum amount of time. Is there a maximum amount of time our parents can help us move in? Last year, we did limit that. I'm not sure that we will again this year, but hopefully that won't be more than 2 hours. Yeah. And a question here about the honors dorm. That move-in would be the same. It has traditionally been Sadler Hall. I haven't had confirmation that that's the case again this year, but that move-in process is the same for the other students. Okay, I'm going to let Butch keep going, but then we're going to come back to these because these are all really good questions. Butch, why don't you keep going and we'll come back to it.
Thanks, Carrie. All right, we can go to the next slide. Okay, so Syracuse Welcome. So you've moved in. You are you're getting settled into your room. You've met your roommate. The whole 9 yards. Then Syracuse Welcome starts. So beginning the day that you move in, during that traditional move-in time, we'll have something fun for you to do that evening. So even though Syracuse Welcome doesn't officially start until Thursday evening, we will have lots of stuff to do in the evenings during move-in and during the days after you move in. So like Carrie mentioned before, if you do have issues with your class schedule, or you want to change some things around or explore that some more, there is time during Syracuse Welcome for you to meet with your advisor. There are going to be a lot of different sessions, a lot of open houses for you to be able to connect with staff members on campus and explore those resources. So the Intercultural Collective at the Shine Student Center, they typically always have either some kind of welcome event or open house or both. Again, we're still kind of in that early process of what that looks like. Hendricks Chapel typically always does some sort of open house or something on the quad. And libraries are also open for you to explore and get some coffee and all that kind of stuff during Syracuse Welcome. We can go to the next slide. All right, so I'm going to tag Morgan on some of this stuff. So the big events during Syracuse Welcome, this is kind of really led by our orientation leaders for the most part. Those are going to be the people at the very front leading the students through these programs and events. We start with the Slices Right. Morgan, do you want to kind of talk a little bit about what Slices Right is?
Yeah, absolutely. Slices Right is one of the kind of premier signature events that we have every year during Syracuse Welcome. Slices Right is essentially a big trivia show and game show. You'll get to compete in competitions alongside some of the other students, answer trivia questions, win a whole bunch of prizes. That event is hosted by orientation leaders, so we'll kind of be your MCs for the evening, while you guys just get to have a good time. That's going to be really awesome. We're hoping to have a really great in-person event this year. So definitely stay tuned for that.
And also going back to the Goon Squad, it's Slices Right is also part of that really old tradition of the Goon Squad, where it used to be called the Goon Show, and it was led by the Goon Squad members back in the, I guess, 50s, 60s, 70s. Carrie.
Yes, big in the 70s for sure.
Big in the 70s. And then that turned into the Slices Right, led by the orientation leaders. Mm-hmm. We also have Orange Blast and the Orange Blast Involvement Fair. That's we are probably going to be doing a lot of, it's going to be in person, and we're going to do it on the quad, but we're going to have a lot of like small activities to do. So we're not, it's not one big crowd. We're going to be kind of spreading everybody out across the quad to do some activities. There's also going to be an involvement fair. This is basically like late in the evening till the middle of the night. This event happens on the quad. It gives you a chance to meet, get exposure to student organizations before class even starts. They're very excited to be there and to recruit potential new members for their organizations. So that's a really fun event. Then we have the block party at the Barn Center at the Arch. Carrie, I'm going to give this one to you.
Thank you, Butch. So we're excited to partner with the Barn Center at the Arch for this program. We're going to be outside on the quad and then inside the Barn Center. It's such a beautiful complex. I know many of you might not have been able to see it, have had an opportunity to tour it, but they have climbing walls and an indoor skating rink. We have glow skating, and we're going to bring as much activity into the space as we can, but we're excited to show you that space as part of a welcome program. So more to come on that, but I'm really excited to plan it.
And then we have Grocery Bingo. As the name kind of alludes to, you play bingo, and the prizes are these big orange bags full of groceries that are appropriate for dorm rooms. So microwavable meals, lots of snacks, paper towels, tissue, all that kind of stuff. So it's a really popular program. So wherever that is on the schedule, definitely make every effort to attend that. I'm gonna let Morgan talk a little bit about Citrus in the City in a minute, but we are, part of our welcome experience is also getting you acclimated to the city of Syracuse. So a lot of you may be from out of state. You may not have visited Syracuse before. So we take our first year and transfer students downtown. As you can see in this picture, the marching band is there to perform kind of the ending pep rally of this event. We have local restaurants that come and share free samples of their foods. We have lots of other activities. We have student exhibitions. Morgan, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, you have a cappella groups performing. You have organizations walking around handing out flyers. It's really kind of one of those first big moments for you to gather together as Syracuse Orange students and as a class to really just experience Syracuse. Also during the night, it's one of the best events. It's so beautiful. The food is incredible. I go back to get ice cream and donuts every single year. So definitely don't miss out on those. But I know I keep saying it, but one of the best nights of the year. Such a great way to start meeting your class and start making some friends. Downtown Syracuse is an awesome place, and I highly recommend if you're going to be studying on campus, you become familiar with the downtown area because there's so much to offer. That's just one of the great parts about being here at SU.
And finally, because this involves travel downtown, because it involves a lot of people, we are, as the summer progresses, we are going to be exploring how to do this safely, whether it's doing this a couple of times so we can kind of de-densify the area or what that might look like. But we have every hope in the world that this does happen as close to normal as possible. Then we have a couple of other things. The Amazing Race. where you sign up to be led by orientation leaders to do kind of this mass scavenger hunt across campus. It was probably actually, I think, our first in-person event that we did on campus after everybody went home due to COVID in spring of 2020. And it was really cool to see everybody get excited about that event. I think it went over pretty well. We had a lot of fun, and a lot of students came out for that. And it also gives you exposure to campus to see where popular buildings are, like other school traditions that you might not know about across campus. And again, it's just another way for you to meet new friends, people that don't live in your residence hall, other orientation leaders. And then finally, we're going to be doing this the small group opportunities for you to opt in during the summer, for you to join a small group. During the Syracuse Welcome, orientation leaders will be leading a small group of about 10 to 15 students, where you'll meet up in person and you'll kind of get that more small group acclimation to campus. So some of those, Morgan, help me out. What kind of topics did you cover this past year for small groups?
Yeah, so we cover everything from campus resources to student organizations to campus traditions, to honestly just open Q&A sessions, to even we even did a personalized campus tour last year. So really, it's a super great way to learn a little bit more about campus, start meeting people in really small groups. I've had some awesome stories where for our winter welcome, we had some students who are still friends on campus and who we've become friends with. So it's a really great way to start building some of those early connections on campus that can last not just for your freshman year or whatever year you're coming in as, but throughout your Syracuse University experience. So small groups are super great. We're really excited to be hosting them and meet some of you.
Carrie, do you have anything else you want to add before we move on?
Well, yeah, I'm so excited. Like we're excited to offer you as much of a traditional Syracuse Welcome experience as we can. Still learning what that looks like. Butch and Morgan both touched on it. Like, we're excited to meet you in person. We're excited to put these programs together for you. We are excited for our orientation leaders to greet you. We maybe have a student on the call who's going to be part of the marching band, but we're excited for you to see the marching band just as they are here. So that's all. I'm
Great.
excited, Butch.
Me too. All right, we can go to the next slide. Okay, so some other things our office does during the fall semester. So when you get to campus, we're actually currently in the middle or toward the end of our first generation college student appreciation week. We've had a couple events this week. And we're actually doing highlights every day of a first generation college student on our campus. But next semester, in the fall semester, we're actually going to be expanding the programming a little bit to include something at least once every day to kind of celebrate our first generation college students. Some of that stuff could be, documentary screenings, a first generation reception. We're doing the spotlights right now, and we hope to do some more meaningful activities next year. And next slide. So some other stuff that we've done, at least within this last year, knowing that we were still, flying the plane as we were building it throughout the year. We did offer a lot of really cool in-person events this year. So in the fall, Carrie put on this really awesome program on the quad that was around Halloween, where we brought, being in New York, we are known for our apples and our cider. And so we just had I'm getting goosebumps. That was such a fun event. We had a lot of apple stuff, a lot of apple foods and snacks out, and we screened Halloween episodes of The Office and Parks and Recreation. We had fire pits and s'mores. It was just a lot of fun. We also do little excursion trips. So we take first year students snow tubing in partnership with Recreation at the Barnes Center at the Arch. We have some transfer events happening next week with yoga. We have a transfer swag swap where you bring some stuff from your previous institution and you swap it with other people and you kind of build community as Syracuse students, but kind of honoring your past experience. Cooking classes and a whole lot more. We do partner with a lot of offices on campus to bring this really cool programming. There's also Orange After Dark programming that happens every single weekend. That's sponsored by the Office of Student Activities. So there's so much to do. This year, obviously, we were exploring the in-person, the hybrid, and the virtual activities. Next year, we're very, very excited and very, very eager to get back to doing a lot of in-person stuff. Next slide. Then we have the involvement fair. So I talked about the Orange Blast involvement fair that kind of is a scaled down version of what we typically do during the first couple of weeks of class. But the first couple of weeks of class, I'm not sure the exact date yet. I think they're still finalizing that in the fall.
I think it's going to be September 8th.
Carrie, thank you very much.
September
8th. September 8th. So you'll be in class for, I guess, a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. So you'll be acclimated to campus, or starting to get acclimated to campus. But then on this day that we have the involvement fair, the quad is taken over by student organizations. Lots of tabling, lots of students that are sharing who they are, sharing what their organization does, and lets you sign up for to learn more about it, whether it's an email list or just to join the club, whatever that looks like. And it gives you an opportunity to kind of, find your family, find your tribe here at Syracuse University, who you really connect with, and people that you have things in common with. If you go to the involvement fair and you have an idea of what you want to get connected to, but you don't see it, you can talk to the Office of Student Activities, and they can actually help you. If it's not something that's already created on campus, they can actually help you create that student organization and get you officially registered as an organization, help find you an advisor, and kind of let you get that started from the ground up. And again, it gives you an opportunity to meet not just peers that you're coming to Syracuse with, other first year and transfer students, but also upper division students. Gives you an opportunity to meet people from all over campus. Also, you get a lot of swag, so make some room in your backpack, because you'll be getting tons of snacks, and people will have giveaways and all that kind of stuff. So definitely make sure to make a point to go out there on September 8th for the involvement fair. And again, some other events that happen throughout the semester. And Morgan, you can kind of chime in if I'm missing anything. But Orange After Dark does events every single week. They do during the fall semester, and I'm sure, hope that we'll do a few this spring if the weather tries to stay nice. We had some snow today, but Orange After Dark does outdoor movie screenings with a huge inflatable screen. They do, some side trips when it's safe to do side trips off campus. Lots of stuff. Orange After Dark, their full schedule, it can be found on their website at studentactivities.syr.edu. You can kind of see what they're doing this semester, so you can kind of get an idea of what kind of programming they do. The university and University Union brings all kinds of concerts and comedians to campus. Tomorrow we have Dan Levy that is going to be doing a virtual, I guess, kind of Q&A meet and greet. If you don't know the show, I'm not going to repeat it on here, but it's very popular. It's on Netflix. It won all the comedy Emmys last year. So we're really excited to have him. We have a lot of student run events too. So we have this weekend, one of our bigger student organizations, first year players, is filming their Something Rotten musical. And I believe they're streaming it next week throughout the weekend. Typically it's a live performance where you go and you attend that, but that student organization is musical theater for non-theater majors, right? Morgan, am I correct in that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Morgan was in FYP as well.
Yeah, it's a great organization for first year students because it's the first year students are the cast, so I know many of you have been involved in theater in your own home communities, so you can audition to be part of the cast. There's also opportunities to be on crew. So, and then if you aren't an actor and theater is not your thing that way, you can attend the show and support your other first year students. So it's another great Syracuse University tradition.
I will also note, in addition to that, if you happen to be an instrumentalist, the first year
Yes.
students also comprise the pit. So if you're interested in playing music as well, you can do that through first year players. So really unlimited opportunities.
Morgan, thank you. I'm so sorry to our musicians that I forgot that part. In fact, I just saw them yesterday setting up the pit in Goldstein. So thank you
It's going
for
to be
that.
a really great show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Morgan was a newsie, I believe, right, Morgan?
I was a newsie. Don't worry, I won't sing anything for you guys now.
We're all grateful for that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So also the career services, they put on Career Week every fall, I believe, where you can get opportunities to meet employers if you're looking for internships or just to see what career services does. They do LinkedIn photos, headshots, and all that kind of stuff during that week. They have a really packed week every fall, so that's a really cool opportunity to if you're looking to up your career development and get ready for the job search and internship search. Definitely look out for that. There's also some lectures and panels. The university has been doing is doing and is planning to do a lot of discussions surrounding for example, the Derek Chauvin trial and other things that are happening on campus and in the world and in our country. Those are happening. They're free to all students, faculty, and staff to attend. And so those are really exciting. We have day trips, like I mentioned. Recreation goes somewhere different every single weekend, whether it's horseback riding, snowshoeing, snow tubing, skiing, all that kind of stuff. So there's opportunities for you to go on pretty cheap and affordable, if not free, day trips off campus. And also our cultural events. So we have, like I said, the Intercultural Collective, which is comprised of the Office of Multicultural Affairs, the Disability, oh my gosh, the DCC.
Disability Cultural Center.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, perfect. And then the LGBT Resource Center, in addition to our Center for International Services, puts on a lot of different cultural events throughout the year.
I will just quickly say some great ways to learn about some of those events. As we plugged earlier, the SUFYTP Instagram has a whole bunch of events that they repost to their Instagram stories. But also, if you know which school and college you're going to be in, even if you're undecided and are in arts and sciences or a specific college, lots of those schools and colleges have their own Instagram and social media pages that you can follow that repost a lot of those like lectures and events and career weeks and organizations and cultural events. So be sure to follow those accounts because those will be really great resources for finding out about campus activities.
Okay. Carrie, do you have anything else before we kind of wrap up the presentation part about the other programming?
You know what? No, I think we've got a couple more questions that maybe we could try and answer, Butch. So why don't you wrap and then we'll see how fast Carrie can answer questions. It's like a quiz show.
Sounds good. So if you're looking to learn more about our office, or if you want to get a jump start on that required task list, visit us at firstyear.syr.edu. That's the easiest way to get just a bunch of information about our office and what we do. Also, I do want to encourage all of you to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at SUFYTP. That stands for Syracuse University First Year and Transfer Programs. We, as soon as for example, like family members, if you want to follow our Facebook account, as soon as we send the newsletter out, we'll post that newsletter in our Facebook account throughout the summer. So we definitely won't be sending it to your email address, but you can get access to it within minutes of us sending it to your student. And again, you can always email us with any questions if we don't get to it tonight. I monitor our Facebook account in the inbox, so if you'd rather just shoot us a quick message on Facebook Messenger or even through Instagram, we can answer those through there as well. So I think we can jump into your questions.
Okay, so I think I'm going to summarize. There's a couple more questions about the housing process. So I'm just going to I'll just go like this about it, right? So you all can go in and fill out your housing application now. After you fill out your housing application, you're going to get access to a system that we're now using called My College Roomie. And this system is a little like a social media platform, lets you meet other new students, chat, maybe decide you might like to be somebody's roommate through that system. if you do choose a roommate, you will use the My College Roomie system to designate who you'd like to live with. So let's say Morgan and I meet up and we decide we make really good roommates. So we would want to both put each other in that system so that we could live together. I don't have the deadline for that handy, but you still have lots of time. I think people feel a lot of stress about roommate selection. So don't stress about it. You don't have to select a roommate. We're happy to place you with somebody as well. The rooms are randomly selected. So we house you randomly. So again, Morgan and I are roommates, but we're just going to get randomly placed in one of our first year residence hall spaces. So we can't you can't choose that in advance. The learning community application is found through that housing application space. You can mail stuff to your residence hall address, and you can start mailing that as of August 20th. I just found that out today. And then when you're selecting your move-in time, you pick any of the time slots, the 24th, 25th, 26th, between 9 and 5. We'll have different time blocks, and you pick the one that you want. How did I do? That was, I think there's a couple questions too about applying to the honors program. So I think I'd feel more comfortable if we work with our admissions team to just get those specifics and get that back out to you guys, because I don't want to misspeak on behalf of that honors team. And parent activities during Welcome Week, we are still working on that because we're focusing first on how do we do an in-person experience for the students, but our families, we're going to get back in touch about what that's going to look like. How did I do? How did I do with my rapid fire quiz show?
Amazing.
Thank you.
So I want to be mindful of the time.
Yeah.
We are nearing 8 o'clock. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Thank you for our wonderful panelists. So much great information, and I can echo Carrie's excitement. We cannot wait to have you on campus and have a phenomenal year. I know we weren't able to get to all the questions, but we will reach out with responses. Also, my colleagues working behind the scenes are going to share the orange@syr.edu email address, as well as the Carrie and Butch's office contact information. Feel free to reach out to your admissions regional rep as well. We're here to help, and we look forward to welcoming you to campus in the fall, hopefully completely in person. Have a good evening, everyone, and take care.